Good evening. Welcome to Common Sense Products for our monthly herbal hour. As many of you probably know, based off of the email that we sent out, that we're going to have a guest today, which I'm really, really excited about. His name is Charles Frohman. I had the pleasure of meeting him about 2 months ago now at the National Health Federation's 70th anniversary. We're going to talk a bit on that too, what exactly NHF is, because it's an organization that everybody should know about. Um, Very, very powerful work they've been doing for the past 70 years. And Charles Frohman is a lobbyist for National Health Federation. So just to give you a bit of background and to also start off, I always let everybody know, because usually we discuss about herbs and different systems of the body on this herbal hour. We always give this disclaimer that we're not medical doctors. We do not give medical advice or treatments or cures. We just give you information about herbs, herbal products, and we let you take it from there. So also, we are going at the end of this presentation today, we're going to have our raffle where a few lucky winners will have a chance to win some of the products that we have for health. And to be eligible for that, you'll have to be on by 6:15 p.m. You must be at least 16 years of age and have an email address. You must live in the USA to be present to claim your prize as well. And again, this herbal hour that we do, we're going to get a presentation. It'll be a little different this time because we do have a guest. So we will answer questions towards the end if there are any questions that you guys may have. Um, and I feel like you guys will have questions because it's going to be really, really, really great stuff today. So I wanted to give a little synopsis on Charles and also NHF. So I was gonna read a bit off from his bio here. So Charles Frohman is a libertarian yogi. He got Forbes magazine to feature his insurance upgrade combining sharing and HSAs to enable the needed cash market and lobbies for National Health Federation, which is one of the oldest health freedom organizations. And since 2018, he has co-hosted the Freedom Hub, which is a weekly podcast featuring entrepreneurs and advocates who are making a better world and questioning the narrative gatekeepers. With the BA from the College of William and Mary and an MED from George Washington University, Mr. Frohman worked for members of Congress, lobbied for financial trade associations. He served as Government Affairs Associate Director at the Cato Institute, and helped John Mackey at Whole Foods start conscious capitalism. He left for a few years to teach high school in DC's inner cities and then ran the nonprofit associated with Governor Gary Johnson's two presidential campaigns. And Charles is married now with two children living in Williamsburg, Virginia. So that is a bit on Charles. And we'll both talk a bit more on NHF, the National Health Federation, but just to give you guys a an overall of how long NHF has been around. They were established in 1955. Again, they're one of the oldest health freedom organizations on the planet and the only organization working to protect our individual rights to choose to consume healthy food, take supplements, and use alternative therapies without government restrictions. So they really, really fight for us. And that's just scratching the surface for what they do. So I do really highly suggest that you all sign up for their newsletter as well. But without further ado, I would like to have Mr. Charles Frohman come in and we can have a chat on these topics that we don't normally dive too deep into. So I would like to have him speak on them. Hello, Mr. Frohman.
Hello, Daniela. Good to see you. I
Good
remember
to-
your voice, your beautiful voice at the Dallas conference. Really
Yeah.
helped to have a little. instead of it droning on with speeches, a little music helped.
Yeah, it's broke it up a little bit. I failed to mention that I did sing for the gala at the National Health Federation in Dallas in March, and that was a lot of fun. That was a very eye-opening experience, I should say, with all the speakers, like you mentioned, you being one of them. A lot of information was given that day. So yeah, it was great. It was great getting to meet you in person because I've seen you on a Zoom many times. And Charles actually hosts his own it's connected with National Health Federation, correct?
Yeah,
It's
the monthly thing on the third Fridays. Yeah.
yes, the monthly on the Fridays. So yeah, I mean, I gave the bio on you, but I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add about yourself.
It's what's that psychological um limit we all put on ourselves where, we've had long lives, everyone's had travails and struggles, and we get promotions, we get good gigs, but we still feel like we're imposters at some point. And so, I wrote that bio for you. And it's like, yeah, those are all my highlights, but it hasn't been as easy as it seems.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm happy with what I've done. You know, it's it's really cool to be in health freedom now, especially with RFK in the administration.
yeah.
Just creating chaos, and a lot of people who weren't awakened during COVID are a little upset about what he's doing. They're still stuck in the old narrative,
Yeah.
the left-right narrative that I don't really think adds too much value for understanding how life really operates. I think it's entrepreneurs and creatives versus a class of global banksters and their minions who
Mm,
are trying to wreck us for their profits and control.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and like, so yeah, I'm lucky to have a health freedom client lobbying, and I'm also selling an alternative to health insurance. So
Mm,
I'm taking on the big boys in health payments and got a family, and I'm very lucky, I think.
yeah, no, it's incredible, what the work you do and the knowledge that you have and like you mentioned about this t day and time, there still are a lot of people that are asleep to all the forces against us with our health. Um, it's pretty mind-blowing. I grew up in this herbal business. My father started in 85. So this is all I know is all about herbs. But even with that being said, learning about what's being sprayed in the air, which is just the past maybe, I don't know, 10 years, I guess I've probably known about it. And then learning about the EMFs was just the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. I'm mostly learning from the monthly Zooms with NHF. And it's just like, wow, it blows my mind because, you're told, you eat well. We take our herbs because we know about herbs, right? And you drink your water, which, you found out how contaminated the water is too. And you're just like, I'm doing all these things to be healthy. Why don't I still feel well? Or why are these random symptoms, feelings happening in my body? And again, finding out again, my mind was just so open when the EMF, when I learned more about the radiation, the wireless radiation, that I was like, this makes so much sense because I deal with issues myself. So yeah, anyways, all that to say, constantly learning. I mean, health, the natural way is a constant journey. It never ends. You never stop learning, which is great. It's great.
Yeah, and that goes back to RFK. I mean, what's his shtick is to do whatever it takes to reverse all of the capture by the giant corporations of our government, which is leading to pollution of our air, land, food, water, and medicine, which synergistically is hurting our health and causing the real epidemic, chronic disease, which has exploded from just 10% of Americans in 1990 to over half by
Mm.
2010, and it's growing inexorably, however
Yeah.
that word is pronounced.
Yeah. I know.
And yeah, most of us, most Americans, I think, take herbs and supplements,
Supplement.
and or take walks, try and buy organic here and there. It's expensive, Whole
Mm.
Foods, whole paycheck, that old joke.
I like that.
But we can't be as fit or look as good as we would like to, and we wonder, why.
Yeah.
And it's because, like you said, they're spraying stuff above us. Um, the soil is depleted of nutrients, so even organic food isn't as wholesome and healthy as it could be.
Exactly.
Um, and there's all kinds of new political fights and victories and challenges and losses now that were unheard of
Mm.
just 5, 6, 7 years ago. All these states banning geoengineering, banning fluoride in the water. Um, you know, Republicans and some conservatives and farm state people are pushing back in the bad way. They're trying to stop us from suing for pesticide harms or to get more disclosure on GMOs. So it's, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Um, the EMF you mentioned, the electromagnetic radiation from our cell phones, from the cell towers, and now if you're in an urban area, these small cell 5G towers, they're putting on every other street lamp outside your apartment buildings.
Mhm.
That stuff, the science is clear on that, just like it's clear on vaccine dangers. It agitates your DNA, your cells, hurts
Mm.
your immunity, leads to cancer.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, things are looking kind of better with RFK in there, but there's a lot of political forces against us, and so many of us are sick, and we can't get better no matter how well we behave with our diet, exercise, meditation. It's not easy. And so many of us are on journeys, experimenting with different modalities. Uh, and, so many folks are frustrated.
Very, very frustrated because even like I said, for me, I mean, I didn't think I had any health problems growing up. Again, people thought, oh, I probably would because I never took medicine. I mean, I was born at home, I was really not affected by any of that. But I think around the age 19, I started to have a lot of digestive issues, and I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was, trying everything, even, colonics. I was doing chiropractor, acupuncture at some point came into play too, which are all great. But, I didn't think that the whole gluten thing was real. Even till this day, it's not really the gluten, it's what they're doing to, the crops and all the additives, all the chemicals added to the bread making process. But that was one of the things. But as time has gone on since then, and that was 11 years ago, I mean, there's a list of things that I try to avoid to eat now that I never had to try to before, down to certain vegetables, like corn being a big one because that's so genetically modified. But it gets frustrating because I still deal with it even to this point now. And it's like, okay, I'm trying these new things. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's not a consistent, I don't have consistent relief. Like I really have to work at that. And then energy levels too is a big one for most people, right? Um, so yeah, again, I do really want to dive into about the MS because I believe that that is part of what affects my body. Um, also hormonally as well, which I wanted you to kind of speak on what are some of the symptoms that people could get from this radiation that's surrounding us constantly for people that don't
Sure.
know.
And I'll pitch my weekly Freedom Hub show, two of them, tomorrow, Wednesday at noon Eastern, and Thursday noon Eastern. My Thursday show does have what's called a building biologist coming on from New Mexico. And these experts go into your house with a meter reader and
Mm,
they tell you how much wireless radiation you're getting from your laptop, from your router, from your cell phone, from the sensors in your appliances.
mm,
The more you upgrade your refrigerator, dishwasher, and TV, they all have Wi-Fi ability now.
true.
It's for the Internet of Things, and really it's for big business to monetize your data. To heck with your health. That's the least of their concerns. And then the antennas outside your bedroom, increasingly in urban areas with the 5G small cell towers
Mm,
on corner street lamps, on top of your apartment buildings. People in apartment buildings are getting it the worst. And then the smart meters, electric utility companies use now, on apartment buildings, they'll have a rack of them for every apartment, 20, 30 digital utility electric meters, all
mm,
pulsing wireless radiation constantly. And then they're going to do the same with your water meter and your gas meter. The cell towers, the satellite radiation being sprayed. And before I get into that anymore, I wanted to agree with you on this consistency challenge we all face to get healthy. Because I think no matter how healthy we think we are, and you and I, and a lot of our mutual friends, we're pretty healthy. We know what to do, but it's so hard to do it on your own consistently.
yes.
And you mentioned in my bio, libertarian yogi. I became a libertarian from working in the government,
Mm,
seeing that it's pretty much a tool of the powerful. Um,
mm,
and so not a big fan of coercion. But I got into yoga, specifically Kundalini yoga, which I became a teacher of in DC. So that's my consistent tool to help me do the best I can, to be neutral and steady every day. Um, so everyone's got to get a habit to help them along because we're all fallible and we can't be as consistent as we would like on the healthy stuff.
yeah.
Chocolate and caffeine for me, I got my weaknesses.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and don't take enough supplements as I should or herbs.
Yeah.
But if you want me to share my screen real quick,
Yeah, that'd be
um,
great.
let me kind of do a quick run through here of what we got for you at NHF, and let me hide my floating meeting controls so I can see what's going on.
There you go.
So tomorrow, um, and then Thursday, I'll put this in chat if you like. This is my personal weekly Zoom, two of them. Healthcare on Wednesdays, and tomorrow we'll be doing anyone wary of blood transfusions in the hospital. I've
Mm,
had a few vendors that are trying to help you prearrange pure blood that hasn't been contaminated by the COVID vaccine. A lot of folks care about that. That's my topic tomorrow. Those of you who care about that, you may want to attend and hear how you can protect yourself in the hospital. The Thursday show is EMFs. The cool thing about Lisa, she's going to help you learn online how to find where the cell towers are near your house.
mm,
They don't make it easy. And people are shocked at how many antennas are near their neighborhoods in their kids' classrooms.
yes.
And 1/3 of America now is vulnerable to electromagnetic radiation.
Hmm.
And let's see here, had a I had a vision that I'll show you to answer your question about medical problems. I think I have it on my X account here from Thursday's show, a nice visual that lists the problems you get from, let's see here.
From EMF. Okay.
I'll just bring that up. And this is a good image because it shows you how the problems get worse the closer you are to the antenna. And so this is my Freedom Hub show. And here is the invitation. There you go. I'll click that open. Sorry for all the clicking, but here's where the image is on the invitation, right there. So let me expand this. So on the right, start from the top middle, and on the right, go down to the right. Do you see fatigue up top in the middle?
Yes.
So that's the biggest problem from this analysis. And then on the lower right, when you get to the end of the red bars, do you see that less than 10
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on the lower right axis?
Yes.
So that's less than 10 meters. So 10 times 3, so or within 30 feet, if you're close to an antenna outside your bedroom, your kid's classroom, your local park, that top red square in the middle, fatigue is the most likely symptom. And then after that is going down that chart, headaches, difficulty in concentration, memory loss, irritability, skin problems, dizziness, movement difficulties. Those are the most common problems. Just like with a vaccine injury, it gets worse with some people, a smaller subset.
Yeah.
On the lower left, you'll see some other symptoms: sleep disturbances, depression, visual and hearing disruptions, cardiovascular, loss of appetite, nausea. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I know from lobbying this every week with actually injured people, but up to 5% are disabled by the wireless mesh of all these these devices and antennas. Some people have to leave their home and go find shelter in a local park with a forest, live in their car.
Mm-hmm.
They can't tolerate it. So 1/3 of Americans are sensitive to it, or we're all affected by it because it's biological, which means you can't feel it. So we're all biologically affected by it. We won't feel it until it's too late. Then we'll have a symptom, and then that symptom, like an allergy, will manifest the next time you're near it. So what you can do is number one, this is an analog this is an analog utility meter for electricity. It's analog because you see the dials. Um,
Okay. Yes, yes.
I had some retired worker put this on my home, and then our utility company threatened me with disconnection
Mm.
a year and a half ago, and about a dozen other families if we didn't back off and let them slap on their smart meter. And having kids, I gave in and I got a smart meter, and then I was able to opt out of, and I got a what's called a non-communicating meter, which isn't as bad as a smart meter, but it's still digital. It still emits some wireless radiation, and it aggravates something else called dirty electricity. And so that pops out of your outlets. And so a building biologist you'll pay money to come to your home. What they'll do probably is put stars on some of your breakers on your electrical panel and
Uh-huh.
say at nighttime, turn off these breakers. So there's no electricity flowing in your bedrooms at night to help your sleep.
Shoot.
You turn off your router or you try to go to Ethernet. When you got your cell phone on your in your pocket, you put it in airplane mode.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and so that this is a big deal. And I put up some websites that let's see here. Let me go to. We have a lot of campaigns.
Yes. A lot.
Um,
Unfortunately, right?
I didn't open the wireless one. There's a wireless aspect to farms. So right now, Congress is trying to subsidize wireless on farms, which will kill cows and deplete milk yield. Let me open my campaign for wireless because if
Mm,
anybody wants to get involved with this issue, um,
yeah.
we're trying to kill what's called spectrum auctions and what's called a reconciliation bill in Congress right now.
Okay.
And
Yes.
it's a little complicated, but in chat or in the notes for this call, people can read this if they want. And if you want to schedule a Zoom with your politician, I'll do the talking. and we're trying to kill this thing called spectrum auctions. And it's going to lead to a whole bunch of new antennas on existing cell towers, no matter how much you want to keep antennas away from your bedroom.
Mm.
And so that's pretty much the EMF issue. Is that enough for now? You got questions?
Yeah, I guess we should see if they have any questions. But I mean, no, I mean, this is great because, again, when I'm watching the Zooms that you're on, just seeing how layered it is, how many, not, not just humans, like you're saying, the animals are affected, the farmers are affected by this. Um, it just shows you it goes so deep. You know what I mean? It goes layers deep. And there was one question I did have for you in regard. So I couldn't quite remember, but EMFs and RS, is that the same thing? Are those two different?
Um, they're a little different. Electromagnetic radiation is a large um, thing, and radio frequency and microwave radiation is a subset of that.
Okay.
So, for example, you know about grounding, going
Yeah.
outside in your bare feet in the grass. That's actually a antidote to excessive wireless radiation.
Right.
So when I remember it, and we get so much advice, what can we remember to do? I
Yes.
do go do a lap around my house barefoot in the sun to get the good electromagnetic radiation from the sun.
Yes.
Um,
I
and
did that this
don't put on
morning.
sunscreen. Uh, just uh, just the sun's your friend. Look at it. Let
Yeah.
the sun come into your eyes. Don't believe the lies. There's so many lies from the narrative gatekeepers.
Yeah.
You got to do your own research, or you're going to die early in this realm of God.
No, it's
So,
so true though.
uh, and then the man-made electromagnetic radiation is I guess it can be good in some ways with some medical therapies here and there, focused.
Hmm.
But, for political reasons, um, what the telecommunications industry is doing is not good. Um, for connections to our house, what we want is what we've had for a few years, a cable connection to your house, or before that, a copper wire for your landline, or what's happening now, fiber. Those are all good,
Hmm.
mostly safe, fast, reliable, secure.
Yes.
And telecommunications companies don't want to give you that wired connection to your house. What they
Hmm.
want to do is keep the wire connection a mile or two away and then make you accept either a transmitting tower on your house or rely on a satellite or a tower. And it's a money making play to monetize data to the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Um, and it makes you sick. So pharma loves that. Pharma wants you sick and to become a lifelong customer.
Mm.
So you have to demand your wired connection for your internet.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and then get educated because we're doing well on vaccines. I call it the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
because I like to be honest about things in life,
Yeah.
and that has awakened people to vaccine lies, the lack of informed consent, the suppression of the science,
Yes.
and the utter capture of the agencies by the special interest. Same thing happens with telecom, but no one understands the issue. But we have bills in Congress, bills in the states to restore your informed consent. So you choose if you want to vaccinate, and we have to stop the bullying of the mothers in the pediatricians' offices. Um,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I'm handling that issue as well
Okay.
in Congress.
There's so much to cover. I mean, and it's, my father, he would talk a lot about these issues, a lot about these things. And it back then, 10, 20, 30 years ago, it sounded crazy, but we're living it now. I mean, it's here, it's real. And like you said, the information is out there. It's not hidden. I mean, there are, like you said, there are some issues where they tamper with the information, but even on vaccines, if you search for it, it's there. I mean, it tells you what can happen. What I remember when RFK was speaking, it was in 2020, it was an interview he did. And my father had always talked about like the inserts for the vaccine pamphlets and how, they just kind of dispose of those when you go in and get your vaccine. But that tells you all of the possibilities of different diseases that you could get. And I was kind of like, huh, like, why would they just put something like that there? But as we know, there's no liability on them for administering them. But it's like if it's there, kind of hidden in plain sight, it's like, well, you knew, even though you didn't know what you were really getting into. It's there for you to see. But yeah, like if people just go online and search up, the effects of different vaccines and what illnesses and diseases, like chronic diseases you could get, it's there. It's in plain English. So I think it's just, again, it's the awareness, making people aware. The same way with what we're talking about with the MFs. A lot of people think it's a conspiracy, but the science is out there, like you're saying. It's there. It's not just made up. And so many people, well, all of us are affected by it, but there are those that percentage of people that are severely affected. And that was something too. You mentioned how those people that had to go away from their homes in order to get relief, and I've heard you talk about this a lot, they're trying to put these cell towers in these parks. What is the reasoning? Why are they pushing so hard for that? Or I mean, they already started, but why? Why is that?
So Johnny can download Netflix when he's on the trail to see the beautiful mountains,
Be
basically.
well, all this is out here for them to see.
Um,
Got you. Got you.
yeah, it's emergency access is the justification, which is not much of a reason because any modern smartphone now can at least text 911, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how remote you are. Or if you're a hiker in distress or a sportsman in distress, you could text 911 right
Mm,
now with any smartphone. So you don't need that law they passed last year, which is going to carpet our parks and forests with antennas. Um, and so that's going to hurt the wildlife too.
yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and it's terrible. So they're going to target the farms next, and
Yeah.
it's and then the rural residents are going to get hit hard.
And that's usually the
And
place.
well, the urban residents are getting hit hard now with the
Yeah.
5G small cell rollout. If you're uh, in any urban area in a high rise, you've got smart meters, banks of smart meters already, and you've got probably antennas on top of your roof.
Mm-hmm.
And New York City has all these 5G small cells outside. You're getting fried.
Nice.
And let me show something else here. Might raise some questions. Kind of, let me just I put this in chat just now. Here's sort of my generic catch-all email. Your friends can send now, tomorrow. It's basically, I consider as a lobbyist emails to your politicians as artillery. If you
Mm,
put it in military terms, I need these staffers who are busy just to get emails.
yes.
Not that they'll read them, an intern may read them. That intern may get hired next year, and they may remember this email. So it's just get those emails in.
Yes.
Beyond emails, if you want to schedule a Zoom with your politician, I'll come in and discuss it. You don't have to really talk. That's the next level of activism is to actually FaceTime the staffer so that they are confronted with you, a voter who cares about this, and
Yes.
that matters to them. Um, Otherwise, you're just an email, but an email is better than nothing.
Exactly.
So to get started, just send this email that I put in chat, and it's the general MAHA, Make America Healthy Again stuff. Divided, the environmental pollution of our food through what you mentioned, the pesticides, which is a big deal on the indigestion part. It also smothers the battery function of your cells. So, glyphosate and those things are so bad, not to mention the GMOs, um, the hormonal injections, and then, healthcare, which gets to vaccines and the other pharma products that, I'm sure you're educating your listeners to minimize and to seek uh, healthier alternatives like nutritional supplements and herbs and organic food. The air, we've discussed geoengineering and EMFs, they're both under this basic pollution of the air.
Yeah.
And then water, we're seeing some states ban fluoride from the water, which lowers IQ,
Yes.
and then general medical freedom.
Yes.
Um, so, that's a simple email anyone can send. But if you want to get into specifics, you put the campaigns link that has all
Yeah.
our campaigns, including this one here, which hits home for you. A few years ago, Senator Durbin tried to require listing of new supplement concoctions at the FDA, an
Mm,
innocuous sounding goal of his, but in effect, um, what if the FDA doesn't accept your submission as a supplement,
mm,
like with NAC, N-acetylcysteine something, which is a known COVID alternative treatment?
yes. Yes.
And pharma is never going to allow you to sell a nutritional supplement that's going to threaten their profits from the COVID vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an important nutrient supplement that we thought would be at risk if this provision passed into law, along with some other things that FDA may disagree is even a supplement. So that was a big national effort by our group, Natural Products Association. Um, you might know this. There are some nutritional supplement nonprofit advocacy organizations out there that are run by pharma.
Mm, I did not
And
know that actually.
they fought us on this. They wanted this mandatory supplement listing thing in law.
Mm.
So
Oh,
Senator Durbin and some of his friends from pharma really tried to pass this. It's dead for now,
uh-huh.
but keep that in mind. Here's the geoengineering campaign. So another email people can find from the campaigns link that you put in chat. Just scroll down, you'll see this. If you care about geoengineering, the atmospheric pollution being dumped by commercial jets and possibly, probably secretive government programs.
Mm,
Don't doubt it.
yes, don't doubt it.
Um,
I agree.
this is for your practitioners, integrated doctors, naturopaths, dietitians, nutritional advisors, healers.
Yes.
This is a catch-all campaign to end licensing and replace it with certification and safe harbors. Um, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but it's there to learn and get back to me if you want to push it in your state. I would love to do this in your state.
Yeah.
It would really free you up from a lot of hassle from the licensing boards.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, this is specific to you. California, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, Illinois, Massachusetts, and other states have considered or will consider limits on nutritional supplements.
Mm,
Usually, the low-hanging fruit that are open to attack, weight loss supplements, stuff weightlifters take. Um, so
yeah.
down here is what they're after. But you don't, and here's the paragraph right here. The common targets are weight loss supplements such as lipotropics, which are found in beef, chicken, turkey, and fish, thermogens, which are found in products containing caffeine, and muscle building supplements such as amino acids and vitamin D. Um,
Oh.
and,
Mm,
and then I love the hypocrisy that you can always find with political efforts. They want to target nutritional supplements that might have a trace of caffeine while ignoring more heavily caffeinated drinks such as Starbucks coffees
Mm,
or these awful energy drinks
yes.
that are so bad. But just racing through here, we want to expand patient empowerment. HSAs are a great way to pay for supplements and herbs if prescribed by a doctor or over the counter. So it's not a panacea for all natural health, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yes. Yes.
Um, then here's a big farm thing that people should really care about. We've got to get our farmers to behave better. They're going to hurt milk yields. They're reliant on pesticides. They're vaccinating the pigs and the cows and the chickens with
Yeah.
mRNA platforms, GMOs,
Mm.
and and I'll stop there. So yes, a lot of activity.
A lot of activity, a lot of activity, but we need to know about these things. I mean, the everyday consumer, because they're selling to us. I mean, we're the ones that are consuming all this on a daily basis, need to know. We need to be aware. And I love that you have it where we can directly send these emails, we can get in contact with our representatives because yeah, I mean, we need to be in their face because otherwise it's like you're just kind of silently just saying, "Oh, it's okay. That's fine. There's no issue." But at least they see that there's some pushback. It opens their eyes, or they'll at least look and be like, "Oh, okay, so the public is aware of what's going on." We're all very comfortable, in America. We're all sitting at home on our smartphones and our smart TVs, but there comes a point where, especially when your health is affected, usually that's when you wake up. Um, but I think if we can start, especially with younger generation, my generation, of course, but even younger, because we're getting sick now too. It's not just, oh, mom or grandma's has these issues. It's like your best friend, 20-year-old, 30-year-old, kids are more and more sick, and it's heartbreaking because, we're too young to be dealing with all these problems. Um,
Yeah, it's not going to be easy because we're addicted to sugar.
yeah.
We're addicted to our cell phones, and Kennedy wants to work with the governors to get the cell phones out of the schools,
Yeah.
and kids are going to fight that. But it's not just about inappropriate content. Uh, Fortunately, he's mentioning that a big reason for his push is because of the wireless radiation.
Exactly.
Uh, it is hurting us. It's hurting our kids. Um, the school lunches are horrible. Um, I don't see what's so difficult about um, empowering local communities to fix that, to
Yes.
get real food into our kids at the schools.
Exactly.
Um,
It's our it's
and
our it's our money essentially. That's paying for
yeah,
food. Yeah, we should be fighting back on it.
and I see someone in chat wanted to talk more about glyphosate. It's
Uh,
not just glyphosate; it's all the pesticides. And like you said, the GMOs, the genetic modification of the crops to survive the pesticides while the nearby weeds get killed. But on my weekly health show, I had Marley Robbins on, who's a famous expert in the nutritional supplement field. And he says what shocked me the most was that the ubiquity of glyphosate in all our foods and how it's saturating us in our cells suppresses copper. And
hmm.
without copper, our cells can't operate the battery function because we are, as we learn the truth about reality, electromagnetic beings.
Mm,
And so glyphosate to me is so sinister because it suppresses that battery function of the cell. And
mm.
I'm not expert enough to really go into more detail than that. But as far as I've gone down the rabbit hole, that sounds bad to me.
Yes.
You
Very
know,
bad. Very
I just
bad.
need to see the basics, and you detect patterns, right? And you
Exactly.
go, "Well, that guy's right."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hear more what he has to say. Um, so,
Makes sense.
and now some states want to stop your ability to sue the Monsantos and Bayers and pesticide manufacturers for pesticide injuries, and we have a campaign against that. Um,
So true.
So if we're going to make America healthy again, we have got to get the farmers, support your local farmers, community gardens, local, portable marketplaces, the what do you call them, the farmers markets,
Farmers markets, yes.
and look for the non-GMO project label on foods, buy organic,
Yeah,
grow your own.
that's the ultimate. Growing your own, yeah. That's like that's my goal. All my
Everyone's got
own.
that goal, but it's not easy, is it?
And living in the
Uh,
city, it's hard, yeah. It's tough.
um, but yeah, and I also sell an insurance alternative. So those of you who are stuck on health insurance, you probably don't like the networks that limit where you can go. Many of us are learning, and those of us who are thinking more don't really want all these pharma prescriptions. So you got to become a cash patient. So what our small market niche is like the credit unions compared to the banks. We're nonprofits called sharing versus insurance. And we're exploding and we help patients shop on cash for prescriptions, tests, or specialists. Becoming a cash patient is part of the natural health revolution. Because when you learn to save money and shop as a patient, you learn about alternatives to pharma.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to go to that chiropractor, that naturopath, that nutritionist, that acupuncturist, that Ayurvedic, that Chinese medicine, traditional medicine. Um, so to me, it's all health reform is the same. We got to stop the pollution of our air, water, land, food, and medicine, but we also have to become cash patients and in control of our decisions and not obey doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, we need hospitals for acute catastrophic problems, obviously, but for the regular preventive stuff, um, do you really want to have a pill pusher, just get you on all those prescriptions all the time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I don't think I think that's going out of style. I think people are learning
Yes.
and they want to, patronize companies like yours.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. They're more aware now, they're my father would say they're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired.
yeah.
You know, you need your health for everything. You need your health to function on a daily basis. And when you realize like I'm taking these things and nothing's happening, I sometimes feel worse or you have more side effects from it. You're just like, wait, that's what happened with my father. He's like, I started out with one problem and then all these other issues began to manifest for my mother and my father, actually. So yeah, people are searching. And I think that's one of the positive things about social media, is that has brought more awareness, I feel like also to
Oh yeah, I agree.
health.
Um, and I think sort of a local government community revolution, localism politically is part of this too,
Yeah.
and that good health comes from good government.
Yes.
And if people start to support that movement away from the globalist bankster one world great reset control grid they want
Mm,
through digital trackable ID to spy on and fry us and coerce us with a
yeah.
social credit score. Um, I think we all need to work together for that kind of future.
Yes.
Um,
Agree. I agree.
and and so I've got a big background in that space too, from Congress and think tanks. So I want to talk as much as I can to as many people as I can to discuss these bigger ideas that sometimes provoke. I like provoking people on it, to be honest. My Thursday show, I've had a lot of controversial guests, but to me, free speech is so important.
Yes.
Um, the antidote to bad speech is more speech, not
Mm,
censorship.
hmm.
You know, say something better. Give us some facts and some guidance. Show us the way.
Exactly. No, you're right. 110%. There's so much information. There's so many people that have knowledge and studied and needs to be heard, not censored. Which we saw how that worked out, a few years back. It's still kind of ongoing in a way. Um, but yeah, no, I'm grateful for people like you, Charles, because you're out there, you're in it, you're doing it, and you're really, also fighting for all of us. That's why the same thing like through NHF, the organization, they've been around for so long, and it's sad that so few people know about NHF because, again, one of the oldest organizations. But, you know, sometimes all it takes is, one person or a few people to bring awareness and that ripple effect. And, for instance, like Scott Tips is the president of NHF, and he's the only one that's allowed in Codex, and that's not, non-governmental associated to be at Codex to speak. And he has changed the minds of a lot of other countries, um, through him just saying, wait a minute, think about this. So one person makes a big impact. And I'm grateful that you oh, sorry, I'm seeing some comments come in now. But no, I'm grateful to have you here for sure. Somebody said, what is the name of the sharing health plan Charles mentioned? Did you want to?
Yeah, I'll put that in chat. I thought it was open and I was going to show it, but let me find the link here. Here we go. I'll just right click that into chat, and we're a brokerage and we specialize in sharing. So we have several sharing communities that we work with. I'll match you up based on your needs. Um, so yeah, so there it is in chat. And we all do our own small things, and that's one thing I'm realizing too, because I think we all suffer from the time it takes to make money or to make an impact, and it frustrates us. But you just have to learn how to budget better and be patient because we don't have many alternatives, right? We gotta find that path and stick to it. And so I love people who stick to it and try to influence where they're at and make money doing good. That was the theme of John Mackey at Whole Foods when he started conscious capitalism that I was fortunate enough to help start back in the mid 2000s. They all said variations of that phrase, make money doing good. And people should want to make money, and it's more fun if what you're doing to make money is good for people. So work becomes fun, and it becomes you become an evangelist, for what you're profiting from. You're muted, Daniela.
Oh no. I was gonna say, you're doing good when you would basically if you do it for free, it's something, good that you're doing for others. And but I mean, obviously we have to have money to survive, but that I agree. I totally agree with what you're saying, 110%. So yes, I'm so glad we got to get you on here today. This is a lot of good information for our audience. Like someone just said, great information. Thank you. Um, yeah, we should have you back again one day too, because so many more people need to hear all this. Um, but yeah, this was great, Charles. So appreciate it. So appreciate this. Is
Thank
there
you, Daniela. It was a pleasure to be with you, and say hi to Avita for me.
I will, yes. And I'll actually be seeing you in a few weeks because I will be on Charles' show on the Freedom Hub show in a few weeks. Yes.
Yep, we'll get a promo, get it out to your friends so they can all come see our crowd. We have some
Yes.
pretty good regulars, just like you do, it seems. Very good.
Yeah, yeah, we did. Yes. And this will also we usually put on YouTube. I don't know if they'll censor us though. But I usually like to put on YouTube, but we'll see if it'll allow us to for people to look back. to hear.
I do see one question about our monthly event at NHF. Let me put that in chat.
Oh, yeah.
See here, when is the monthly meeting? Just sign up for our e-list. I just put it in chat, and if you sign up for our e-list, you'll get the invitation. So it's the third Friday, noon Eastern. Um,
Perfect.
and I just had it wireless, but I have all the issues every few months they repeat. So wireless, geoengineering, licensing, supplements, you name it.
Yes,
They never
it's
go away.
it does not. It does not. Can't wait for the day that it does. But as of now,
Yeah.
really, yeah. When you're on there, when you listen to those monthly NHF meetings, they're incredible because I've learned so much, and I don't get to hear all of them, but the times I get on there, I'm just blown away. The speakers that you have on there are very well informed. So go on there, you guys, if you get a chance. It's the third Friday of every month. So
Noon
sign
Eastern,
noon Eastern, yes. Sign up for that email list.
which
You want it.
is not, are you Pacific time?
Pacific time, yeah, we're Pacific time.
Oh, 9 a.m. Sorry.
Yeah, 9 a.m. our time. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, 9 a.m. our time, 12 p.m. your time, Eastern time. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So get up a little earlier if you don't normally aren't up at 9 Pacific time. Awesome, awesome. Again, Charles, so grateful to have you. This was really, really great information that you shared. We got a lot in, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks for the opportunity and continued luck with your show and your venture
Thank
and
you.
your singing.
Yes. I'm gonna keep on singing. I'm gonna keep on. That's part of health too, right? We need
Yeah.
music, healing.
Oh, yeah.
Very awesome, awesome. Well, again, thank you so, so much. Um, right now I'm just gonna go on to our raffle. So if you want to stay on, you can. If not, I know it's late where you are right now. So if you want to log out, I understand. But yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of raffle for people that want to win some herbs today.
Okay. Thanks so much, Danielle. I'll see you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
All
Thank
right. Bye.
All right, everybody. So yeah, that was some incredible information. I'm sorry right now that I'm getting all this glow going on behind me. The sun is setting. Next time I'll have to put something up to eliminate the glowiness. Um, but oh my gosh, so grateful that you guys got to hear this. I'm gonna put it on YouTube. That's the plan to put on YouTube. So just to recap. We talked a lot about with the EMS today. So there was a couple products that I wanted to suggest for people. Like you said, we are surrounded by it, we're inundated by it. You take herbs, you eat well, you do all you can to just keep your body as strong as you possibly can. Two of those herbs that I think of, one of them is the HPC 12. I remember my father would always say how sea vegetation is really good for radiation, for radioactivity, to help heal and to it doesn't the sea vegetation doesn't get affected as easily affected by radiation. So HPC 12 has sea moss in there. It has the Irish moss, it has kelp. And then also the other one that came to mind was charcoal or activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is incredible. Um, it absorbs toxins in the blood, in the gut. For instance, just to give you an idea, you can use it if you get nauseated easily, if you get seasick. I've used it twice when I had food poisoning. It's helps kick it out real fast. I've used it on a black widow bite for my mom externally on her finger, and she took it. And we were up in the mountains, so they couldn't go to emergency or anything. So we did all that, and within seconds, she was already feeling the difference. You could feel it pooling the poison out. People use it as a face mask, pulls impurities out of the skin. So charcoal is it's great. It's great for even heavy metals in the body. So, that's just two of, but all herbs just help to keep the immune system strong. Um, oh yes, someone's asking about Head Start. Yes, it came in today, late today. So Head Start is another really great one because for brain function. Um, And there was a couple other things that I know that I've heard them say is, you don't want to sleep with your phone by your head at night. Um, you don't want to have your phone in your pocket or on your person, because it affects your body and especially at night if you have it real close to you. I try to remember to do this and I don't. I'll be honest, I forget when it comes to your router at night, your wireless router, they say you should unplug it. That's what they say, you should unplug it. So that's another thing. The last thing I just wanted to share as well, we are going to finally have a bread making class. Some of you have been to these bread making classes years and years ago. I think the last one we had was in 2018 with Chef Kate Wharton. She has been having a few classes. The last one we did was a chocolate lovers delight class where she made chocolate chip cookies and she made brownies, and it was all healthy. I think the cookies had a little sugar, regular sugar, but all the other items were sugar free and raw vegan and so delicious. She even made Snicker bark. Incredible, incredible. But this one is going to be bread making classes, just what she originally started out doing with us, and her bread is the best. It's so amazing. Yeah, she's gonna be making a couple different bread based recipes. So I'm not gonna reveal the menu yet, but we will be sending that email out very soon. So make sure to look out for that because when it is here, you will have a certain amount of time to register for it. So just keep your eyes peeled for that email. And of course, keep your eyes peeled for our next herbal hour, which will be next month in the month of June. Summer is here, everybody. If there's a topic that you would like for us to talk on, let us know, and we will definitely consider it. And we want you guys to, get your questions answered. So feel free to contact us. All right, everybody. I know we've gone a little over time today, but I did not want to stop any of the information Charles had to give because it's such good quality, high quality information. So thank you for joining us on this lovely Tuesday evening. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.